Imagine two beings built from the same blueprint. Same body, same brain, same memories, same laugh. One feels the sting of pain. The other performs pain perfectly, but inside, there's no one home. From the outside, they're twins. From the inside, one is a universe, and the other is a dark room. Could you tell the difference? Could any machine tell you? That's the question that breaks the simulation story open. Tonight, two explanations enter the ring. Matter's the whole story, and consciousness is what the machinery does. Or mine's closer to the floor of reality, and your inner life isn't an accidental spark. We'll let both sides make their best move. Then we'll ask which story makes the strange fact of experience less surprising. There's a famous atheist philosopher who says you can map the brain and still miss the person. Thomas Nagel spent his career arguing against religion. Then, in 2012, he published Mind and Cosmos, with a subtitle that reads like a flare shot into the camp that says matter is all there is. The picture of nature in which matter's all there is, he argued, is almost certainly false. Nagel is not throwing the brain away. He is pointing at the gap between a map seen from the outside and a life lived from the inside. You can chart every neuron, predict every report, and still not find the taste of coffee, the sting of grief, or the red of a rose. The map gets sharper. The inside stays hidden. That's the hostile witness turn. The philosopher least likely to help a theist is the one saying matter alone can't be the whole story. Nagel's objection needs a stress test. If a complete map still misses experience, build a person who has the complete map. Her name is Mary. She has never seen a color. Here's a thought experiment that has haunted philosophy for 40 years. Mary knows every physical fact about color, every wavelength, every neuron that fires when a brain sees red. She has lived her whole life in a black and white room. Then the door opens. A red rose is waiting. Does Mary learn something new? If she does, then a complete list of physical facts left something out. The felt red was not in the list. Frank Jackson built the argument in 1982. Then he changed his mind. The inventor of Mary's room decided the room might be tricking us. That's not a cheap gotcha. It's the experiment's best twist. The argument survived its own author. Consciousness is one word doing two jobs. One job is visible from the outside, sorting information, controlling behavior, reporting a decision. The other job is the strange one. Why any of that machinery comes with a point of view at all. Why there's something it is like to be the machine. In 2025, scientists ran one of the boldest head-to-head tests consciousness has seen. The Cogitate collaboration put two leading theories under the same experimental spotlight. One focused on how information is organized, the other on how the brain makes information widely available, with the rules registered before the results. The data challenged both theories. That's a win for the experiment, not a verdict for either worldview. Neuroscience can map which circuits travel with a report, a decision, or a perception. But even a perfect map would leave the question that keeps the lights on unanswered. Why is there any feeling here at all? Last time we asked if you might be living in a simulation. Now imagine the copy that would scare the simulator. It's got your body, your brain, your memories, and your laugh. It behaves exactly like you. It flinches at pain. It argues about this sentence. Yet inside, there's nobody home. Philosophers call it a philosophical zombie. The point is not that zombies are hiding in your closet. The point is that behavior and experience may be different facts. A machine can reproduce the performance. A scan can track the machinery. Neither can open the window and find the light. Can you prove, from the outside, that anyone else is conscious? Or do you infer it because you recognize the light in yourself? Now let Dennett flip the board. He says the missing light isn't a ghost waiting behind the machinery, it's a story the machinery tells about itself. On his view, once you've explained every function, report, and reaction, there's no extra feeling left over. The sense that something remains is itself another brain function. That's a real challenge. If the mind-first side points to a gap, Dennett asks whether the gap is a feature of reality or a feature of our description. In the Cogitate study, scientists ran one of the boldest head-to-head tests consciousness has seen. The Cogitate collaboration compared two leading theories. Integrated information theory focuses on how information becomes integrated. Global neuronal workspace theory focuses on how information becomes widely available across the brain. The rules were registered before the results. No moving the goalposts. The data challenged both theories. That's a win for the experiment, not a verdict for either worldview. Neuroscience can map which circuits travel with a report, a decision, or a perception. That's real progress. But even a perfect map would still leave the question that keeps the lights on unanswered. Why is there any feeling here at all? That's the hard problem. Not a failure of measurement, but a question about what measurement can ever reach. The gap isn't a trump card. We don't know yet's rescued bad arguments before. If that were the whole case, we'd stop there. The real question's comparative. What does each picture predict about the fact that the universe contains beings with an inside? On matter first, consciousness arrives late, unplanned, in a universe that ran for billions of years without anything needing to feel. Possible, perhaps, but a strange place to put the one thing you know most directly. On mind first, experience is less like a spark in dead machinery and more like a small expression of something fundamental. If mind's underneath reality, an inside isn't an accident, it's a family resemblance. That raises the odds of a mind. It doesn't prove which mind. The argument earns a direction, not a shortcut. A mind-first view is still an abstraction. It can explain why experience belongs in the architecture, but it doesn't know your name. The Christian claim takes the next step. The reason behind reality is not only conscious. The reason speaks, enters, and stays. Every worldview has to point at one thing and say, this is fundamental. Physics points at matter. Particles first. Mind arrives late, like a flame in a universe that never ordered fire. The oldest Christian claim points the other way. In the beginning was the Logos, the reason behind reality. In him was life, and that life was the light of all mankind. On that picture, consciousness isn't a lucky glitch, it's a family resemblance. This is a faith claim, not a lab result, but it gives your inner life a place in the foundation of reality. Which story makes the fact that you are here, inside your own experience, less surprising? So after the simulation, what are you? A machine that learned to say I, or an inside that matter alone cannot quite account for? 3 episodes have taken us from a readable universe, to a made universe, to the inner light no scan can display. None of that's a laboratory proof, it's a trail. The trilogy ends here. The next question is bigger than the simulation. If mind is underneath reality, is that mind knowable? Stay curious. The light is not afraid of the dark.